What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, folks, I got a good bit of news right here. This is really good news for the United States. Check this out. Trump signs executive orders to boost nuclear power and speed up approvals. Now, this is something I've been yelling and screaming about ever since Joe Biden came into office and started trying to enact all this solar and all these wind farms and all this climate agenda nonsense. I'm like, where's the nuclear power here? How come we haven't built any nuclear power plants? What is going on with this? That is the best power generation system that we have on this planet, for goodness sakes. It's the most efficient. It's the safest, if you will. I said the most is safest, but it is what it is. And Donald Trump said, nonsense. All this climate BS is nonsense. We're going nuclear, and he is releasing the shackles off the regulations around this and allowing this industry to thrive, y'all. Check this out. Now, of course, we got the corporate press to come in and say, oh, he's taking power away from the agencies that regulate nuclear power. President Donald Trump signed executive orders Friday intended to quadruple domestic production of nuclear power within the next 25 years, a goal experts say the United States is highly unlikely to reach. Once again, folks, that's not the point. However, are the principles of the corporate press applied equally all the way across the board? They are not, as a matter of fact, because if you guys, the longtime viewers of this channel, know, when we were covering Joe Biden's climate agenda nonsense, they never made any statements like that. They never come out and said, experts said that this is impossible. No, it was up to me to say that putting all these scrubbers on every single coal-fired power plant in the United States is an impossibility by the year 2032. But no experts ever said that, or they never put it into the articles. Right? So are their principles applied equally all the way across the board? No, they're not. These people want you to think that, oh, Donald Trump is asking for the impossible and it's not going to happen. Well, I wouldn't say it's not impossible, but that is what you do. Which, this is exactly what I said Joe Biden was doing when he issued his climate agenda nonsense. What he is doing, right, it had some fatal flaws in his logic, if you will. Of course, it's Joe Biden, but what he was doing was wanting all this technology that was not even fully developed yet, right? They said it was 2 to 3 years out, and then that would have gave 4 to 5 years to put all this technology on every single coal-fired power plant. Now, what I said at the time is that's never going to happen, but I see what Joe Biden's trying to do here. He's trying to push this idea. It's the big ask, if you will. Put it out there, say this is the goal, and see if they attain that. This is meant to incentivize these companies to hurry up and get out there and push for it. Put some resources into this and let's go. Come on. That's what Trump is doing here. But what does the corporate press do? In the very first paragraph. Oh no, this is never going to happen. To speed up the development of nuclear power, the order grants the U.S. Energy Secretary authority to approve advanced reactor designs and projects, taking authority away from the independent safety agency that has regulated the U.S. nuclear industry for 5 decades. No, hang on. Yeah, the Secretary. So it's the same agency, if you will. It's just removing all the boards and all that other crap, all this permitting process nonsense that you have to go through. Yeah, they're getting rid of a lot of that to get the approvals. But this doesn't mean that we're not going to adhere to safety standards, right? That's the concern. Oh, he's getting rid of the authority. Yeah, think about what they're saying here. The authority for them to drag this process out. Yes, that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. The order comes as demand for electricity surges amid a boom in energy-hungry data centers and artificial intelligence. Tech companies, venture capitalists, states, and others are competing for electricity and straining the nation's electric grid. We've got enough electricity to win the AI arms race with China, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said. What we do in the next 5 years related to electricity is going to determine the next 50 years in the industry. Still, it's unlikely the U.S. could quadruple its nuclear production in the time frame the White House specified. The United States lacks any next-generation reactors operating commercially, and only 2 new large reactors have been built from scratch in nearly 50 years. Those 2 reactors at a nuclear plant in Georgia were completed years late and at least $17 billion over budget. And I wonder why that is. See what the corporate press is doing right here is they're trying to make you think, oh, well, hang on, this is never going to happen. The last projects were $17 billion over budget. But hang on, what did Donald Trump say at the very beginning of this article? He's taking the regulatory shackles off of the process to get this sped up. But the corporate press does not tell you that, folks. Though they try to make you figure that out. And then they give you all this negative press about it to make you think, well, this is never going to happen. Trump is enthusiastic. At the Oval Office signing, Trump, surrounded by industry executives, called nuclear a hot industry, adding, "It's time for nuclear, and we're going to do it very big." Burgum and other speakers said the industry has stagnated and has been choked by overregulation. Mark this day on your calendar. This is going to turn the clock back over 50 years of overregulation of an industry, said Burgum, who chairs Trump's newly formed Energy Dominance Council. The orders would reorganize the Independent Nuclear Regulatory Commission to ensure quicker reviews of nuclear projects, including an 18-month deadline for the NRC to act on industry applications. The measures also create a pilot program intended to place 3 new experimental reactors online by July 4, 2026, 13 months from now, and invoke the Defense Production Act to allow the emergency measures to ensure the U.S. has the reactor fuel needed for a modernized nuclear energy sector. So, once again, folks, this is what Trump is doing. He is removing the regulatory shackles and invoking the emergency powers needed to allow this industry to flourish. This is what a real president does. This is exactly what a real president does. Instead of issuing unattainable goals, hey, install this technology that's not fully developed, while not doing anything to try to help the industry install or develop that technology to install. What Donald Trump is doing is releasing the regulatory shackles off of the constituent makeup parts as well, not just the permit process. Right? He's allowing for the industry to flourish. He's removing regulations all over the damn place to allow these companies to build these power plants. He's not just saying build the power plants, for goodness sakes. But the corporate press, they're not going to tell you that. They're going to kind of tell you in a roundabout way. But what they do is, like we always say on this program here, is the way they structure these, right? You notice they give you all the pertinent information. That was the last little paragraph. You know how they do that, right? They'll put a short paragraph, and then they'll have a few ads, then another paragraph, and then they'll have this little button down there. It's real small, too. It says, read more. And what they do is right past that, they'll have just a bunch of ads. So if you don't happen to see that little button that says read more, you never get what I just read you. You'll get the first couple of paragraphs with them fear-mongering about, oh, well, this can never happen. And you don't see where Donald Trump is actually releasing the regulations off of the industry, for goodness sakes. You don't get that. Like I said, unless you see, and they make it really small so you can't see it. They've even gone to the extent, what they'll do is right before that, or right underneath that little button, they put the author who wrote the article out. So it really looks like the end of the article, so you do not continue reading the article. You just think it's the end. And they make that little link or whatever it is to extend the article so you can read the whole thing. They make it really, really small. I've shown this several times in the videos, but it is what it is. But this is what they do, folks. And this is all nonsense, and it's all meant to just give you their side of the story and not the rest of the story. But it is what it is. So I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter, short and sweet. Give you the news and try to keep my rambliness kind of brief, if you will. So it is what it is. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here and you want to stay up to date with news and exactly how you're being manipulated by the corporate press. And also, if you could, look right below the video and click that join button. Sign up, become a member, help me deliver the news and the manipulations to you and unmanipulate the manipulations, because that's what we do around here. Y'all share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That's the best way to help me out. Tell your friends, tell your family. Word of mouth is great, y'all. So y'all do that for me if y'all could. I would really, really appreciate that. That would be lovely if you guys could do that. But y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.